Today I am going to explain the thriller movie Detour, released in the year 2013. The movie is about a man's helplessness and subsequent survival as he tries to save himself from the brink of death when he is buried alive and has only a few hours to escape. Don't forget to subscribe to get notified about our next thriller recap. The movie begins with a man filming himself on his mobile phone. He seems imprisoned in a cave-like place. He says that this place seems like a new world to him. He feels as if he has been reborn here. But then the battery of his mobile starts to run out, due to which he is unable to finish his video, his mobile turns off, and the screen goes black. In the next scene, we see a man wake up in his car with a bleeding nose because he has been in an accident. His name is Jackson. He can't see anything outside his car. He tries to open the car door, but fails. Then he repeats his memory of what happened to him. He remembers that he left home to attend a meeting, and on the way, he was talking to his friend Terry on the phone. Then suddenly, his car fell victim to mudslides. Jackson then tries to call 911 for help, but is unable to do so due to the lack of signals. He turns on the radio, but its frequencies are also not working. He then tries to start the car once again, but the car does not start either. He panics, and due to his violent shaking, the car starts to wobble at once, which scares him even more. Now he has no choice but to wait. Jackson takes out his mobile phone and starts recording his video. He talks to himself, saying that he is stuck in a bad situation. He also says that if there is mudsliding, he will be rescued soon. He is watching a video on his phone of Lori, his girlfriend, who is furious because coyotes have destroyed her tiny garden. The man also buys a present for Lori's birthday. When he feels a little calmer, he falls asleep. He is having a dream, from which we learn that he works for an advertising company. In the dream, he is advertising a mineral water, and suddenly he finds himself trapped in that water bottle. He opens his eyes due to the cramp in his foot, and when he looks at the time, almost 6 hours have passed, meaning no help has come. Now he gets very worried and curses himself for having shifted to California when mudslides happen here, and he becomes a victim of them. When Jackson checks the car, he notices muddy water coming in from the back. Now the time for his survival has begun. He checks by hanging his mobile and splashing water on the dashboard, which he realizes is that his car is slowly tilting. He notices ants coming inside the car through the AC vents, so he covers them with tape. Jackson tries one more time to roll down the window to see how much his car is covered in mud, but the mud starts to get inside the car and Jackson's clothes get ruined, which makes him very angry. Then the sound of the car's sunroof glass cracking is heard. He quickly tapes the glass and attaches the car's jack to the sunroof frame to support the glass, because if the glass is broken, he will be buried in this mud and dirt right there. When Jackson is done with all of this, he mindlessly drinks the whole bottle of water and is also very angry with himself because he doesn't have any more water to drink. He can't see a way out, so he makes a cross on the seat with a marker and prays for help. If he is saved, he will do everything for God. He misses Lori once again. Jackson waits for a long time, then it seems foolish to him to sit like that, so he puts all the tools in his car in front of him and tries to figure out how he can use them to get out of here. Suddenly, water started dripping from the sunroof crack. Jackson tries to drink by sucking it directly, but it's a little difficult to do so. He pulls out a card from his wallet, bends it into a small funnel to fit the bottle, and jams the bottle into Jack's handle, causing the water to begin to collect drop by drop. In no time, he has enough water to quench his thirst. Jackson grabs a pipe from a folding chair in the car. He runs a pipe through the broken part of the sunroof to find out how deep his car is in the mud. But mud starts coming out of the pipe and into the car. Jackson comes up with the solution and makes a hole in the lid of a water bottle, ties a rope to it, and passes the rope through the pipe. In this way, the bottle cap covers the pipe's end. Jackson tries again, and this time the mud doesn't come out of the pipe. As the pipe ends, Jackson attaches another piece to the first one and pushes it up as well. This pipe also ends, and now Jackson adds a third pipe and pushes the pipes with a towel over his shoulder. Finally, the pipe reaches the end, and he starts seeing light through the pipe. He becomes overjoyed because now he sees hope for his escape. Now Jackson thinks of an experiment and sets fire to a piece of newspaper to get the smoke out of the pipe, but it doesn't help, and instead the car fills with smoke. He then stops for a while and starts eating the only pack of snacks he has. To pass the time, Jackson writes a lot on the windscreen with a marker, including making a list of things he wants to give to people. He is making a list about this when suddenly the pipe begins to descend. He tries to stop the pipe and tries to look out of the pipe, but he can't see anything. Then the pipe hits him on the forehead and injures him badly. Jackson becomes unconscious from the injury. He has a dream in which he gets out of his car in the garage of his house with light streaming in from the windows. Suddenly, his car disappears from the garage and the windows are covered with mud. Smoke starts rising in the garage and his eyes open with it. Jackson wakes up to find that the pipe is completely back in the car and that his car is also dirty with mud. His forehead wound is bleeding profusely. Jackson takes off his shirt and first covers his head with it, then fastens his forehead with his belt to stop the bleeding from his wound. A dead bird comes inside the car, along with mud. Jackson gets very depressed after seeing this and starts crying. He addresses the bird and says that if it could fly, then how did it get stuck in this mud? If the bird didn't survive, he wouldn't either. He apologizes to the bird, saying that he will have to eat it later to save his life. Jackson once again has memories of himself and Lori, in which he and Lori are happily side by side. He promises Lori that he will always protect her, and Lori adds that he will also protect their child. Jackson assures Lori of this. Then he finds himself in his office. He starts eating the donuts lying there and then meets his boss, who compliments him on his performance and sits across from him, making Jackson uncomfortable. But then his boss turns out to be Lori, which makes Jackson happy. But suddenly, mud comes out of Lori's nose and mouth. Jackson opens his eyes, cleans his face, and then makes a video for Lori. He tells Lori that he feels like his end is near, and that he is making this video for her. He expresses to Lori that he wants to marry her so that he can live a full life with her and their future child. But now he finds all this impossible because he is going to die. He also records a message for his child, saying that he loves him or her very much. He wants to spend time with his baby and watch him or her grow up, but sadly, he won't be able to. He cries profusely after finishing the video. He is now thinking about the decisions he has made in his life and realizing what he is now going to lose along with his life. Jackson also makes a ring mark by cutting his finger. Being very weak, he faints once again. This time, he remembers exactly what happened to him. He leaves his house to go to work, and while passing through the road between the mountains, suddenly his car falls victim to mudsliding. Now the counting of hours has ended. His wound has also become infected. Seeing his appearance, he compares himself to a zombie and draws a zombie on the glass. Suddenly, the back glass starts breaking due to the pressure of the mud, and all the mud starts coming into the car. Half of the car's roof also collapses due to the pressure. Jackson is very nervous and doesn't know what to do. Half of his car is filled with mud. He is getting closer to his death in every way, so he makes one last attempt to save his life. He takes a spare tire lying in the car and attaches a tube to it so that he can survive on the air in the tire. He has no food or water to drink, so he drinks his own urine to restore his energy. Jackson applies motor oil to his body, then hangs the tire around his neck and tries to climb out of the car's sunroof. His mobile battery is about to die. He records his last video on his mobile from where the film begins. His mobile battery dies and the mobile falls there. Jackson doesn't give up and tries to make a tunnel to the top. After much effort, he finally sees the surface and is overjoyed to see the rays of the sun. The camera zooms out and we only see the soil surface, and with that, the film ends. Overall, Detour is a great movie to watch with an amazing storyline, so make sure to check it out. To watch our next thriller recap, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let us know in the comments section about your next favorite movie that you would like us to recap. Stay thrilled.